Okay, so DJ, can you please read the problem for me? We are on task 2.
Tigo and Max have 48 marbles altogether. Tigo gave 1/4 of his marbles to Max, then Max gave 1/3 of the marbles he had to Tigo. In the end, they had an equal number of marbles each. How many marbles did they each have at first?
Very good. Okay, so looking at this problem, how many people or animals do we have in this problem?
2.
Good. And what do they have?
Marbles. They've got 48.
They got 48 of them. And what are they doing with these marbles?
They're giving them to each other.
Good. And we know that there's 48 altogether at the end. What is this problem asking us to solve?
How many marbles at the beginning?
Good. Okay, so how can we solve this problem? What do we need to do?
We need to work backwards.
Very good. Okay, so in order to work backwards to solve this, what do you think is our best step to do first?
Start with how they both have 24 at the end.
Good. How did you know they both have 24 at the end?
Because it says they had an equal number of marbles at the end, and there's a total of 48.
Oh, brilliant. Good job. Okay, excellent. So, you already described the situation. Great job. Okay, so we plan to solve by, remember we have our fun chart, and at the end we know that they both have 24. Very good. So now we have to work backwards from here. Do you remember how we can use a chart, or I'm sorry, a bar graph, to split up the 24 to figure out how we can go from the end to the beginning?
Well, I guess it would be like the total bar graph would be 48, and then you'd have 24 and 24 on each side for the end.
Okay, let's see it. I'll show you how it's drawn here. Good. So we have 24. Okay, these two are going to be 20. You know what we should do first? I'm going to have you read actually for me before I explain this. Read this for me because we're going backwards, so we actually want to start here.
Max gave 1/3 of the marbles he had to Tigo.
Okay, 1/3. So we actually want to find 1/3. So if we split up, if we have 24 here and we're trying to find the 1/3, how do we figure out what each of these are worth?
Divide 24 by 2 since it's in 2 sections, so it's 12 per section.
Very good. Excellent. Which tells us, so 1 unit is 12. So now we know that we have to subtract 12 because remember, we have to add 12 because we are doing it backwards. So we know now that during the second step, Tigo had 12 and Max had 36. And how can we be sure that we're right so far? What do these two numbers, 12 and 36, have to add up to?
48 for all the marbles that we have.
Good. It always needs to be 48. Excellent. So now we know 12 and 36. Let's move on to the next part of our problem. Go ahead and read this one for me.
Tigo gave 1/4 of his marbles to Max.
Good. Okay, so now how do we figure out this one? If we know that Tigo has 12 and Max has 36, and we know that before this, Tigo had given 1/4 of his marbles to Max.
So we need to figure out, so we do the same thing we did this time, but with 12, and that's going to be separated into 3 different sections because then we want to find the 1/4.
Excellent. Good job. All right, so tell me, how can we then separate, or how can we tell each unit? How do you figure that out? What each one is worth?
Divide 12 by 3.
Very good. And what do you get?
4.
4. Excellent. So if we get 4, what do we do with this number 4?
Add it Yeah,
Oh, I just tell you. I just told you. So, if we know Tigo has 16, what do we have to do with on Max's side?
you could do 48 minus 16, or you could do add. Well, you would subtract
36 minus.
4.
Good. Excellent. So then what's our final answer? How many marbles do they each have at first?
Tigo had 16 and Max had 32.
Excellent. Very good. Okay, great job, Dana. And how do we know that how do we know that 36, 32 and 16, how can we check our answer? They have to equal what number?
48.
Very good. And does 16 plus 32 equal 48?
Yes.
Awesome. Great job, Dana. Thank you for helping out today.
Thank you.